Welcome back to another week of TP's Weekly Roundup. I'm Tracy Perks, quilt pattern designer in the UK, and I'm going to chat to you about what's going on for my quilting world, my business world, and boat life. So let's get started. So this week I'm going to talk to you about the giraffe quilt pattern, the summer retreat, some little ducks, and some questions about my quilt designs. So first up is what's happening in my quilting world. Well, to be honest, there's not been a lot of sewing going off this last week. I've done a bit of applique, which was good. That was at the weekend, last weekend. But this week's been all about the business side, which there has been a lot going off. I have been auditioning threads for the Candy Cosmos quilt that's coming out at the end of the month. I think I spoke about that last week. I wanted to get that quilted. That's not happened, unfortunately. So I'm hoping this weekend over the Easter break, then I will get that finished and quilted and the binding on as well. And it needs to be done really because I've got a Sewing Street show coming up on the 29th of April. So yes, that must get done this weekend. And the reason I've been concentrating on the applique is because we've got the summer retreat coming up, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. But I have had really good fun playing with some applique designs, using my blanket stitch. And, you know, on my sewing machine, I think there's about 10 different blanket stitches on my sewing machine, believe it or not. So it's been fun testing those out and getting to understand why they are all different. So yeah, applique has been the way forward for me at the minute, and I'm also working on writing those up into patterns as well. So which they're going to be a bit more wordy, the patterns are, but they're going to be great patterns. I know that sounds a bit big-headed, doesn't it? But they're going to be great patterns. Okay, business updates. There has been lots going off this week. Started off the week with an order for 2 distributors in the States, Checker and Moda, or United Notions. So that was a good start to the week, but that all takes time to get those processed, the invoices done, the purchase orders done for the printing. And for those of you that don't know, the printing for patterns that are in the States, that are being sold in the States to quilt shops, that is done in South Carolina. So there's no shipping for me. There's no shipping costs attached to those. So I just need to process the orders, and then that'll get done, printed, packed, and then shipped to the distributors. So that's another side to my business, but I'll perhaps talk about that in another episode at some point. Now, last week I said that I went out for lunch to the Woburn Hotel in Bedfordshire, and since then it's been a bit of a whirlwind. And the great thing about working for yourself is that you can go, this is what I'm going to be working on this week or today. Now, I do have other deadlines as well to meet, but the summer retreat, it's a 1-day retreat. It's at Woburn Hotel in Bedfordshire. So it's pretty central in the country. It's easy to get to. There's railway stations close by as well. So we went back to look at the room because we didn't get a chance to have a proper look at the room last week when I went for lunch with my friend Kim. And I wanted to check out where the sockets were, what size tables I could get in. So then that would determine the amount of numbers that we could have on the retreat. So over the weekend, this may be a bit boring, but it's part of my business life. So let me tell you about the things that I've needed to do to get to the point of selling the retreat spaces. I had to create a new page on my website just for the 1-day retreats, because the other retreats are a weekend retreat and they're at a different venue. They're down in Herds Hill in Somerset. This one, I wanted a different page, and then I had to build the product as well. So I managed to get some pictures while I was at the hotel, which are on the website. And then I needed to get some pictures of what we were going to actually be doing. You know, the retreat needed a name as well. So I went with Summer Layers and Applique Escape. which I thought sounded quite nice. So what I'm going to do then is have autumn layers, winter layers, spring layers. And so I'm thinking for the future when I'm actually starting to, when I'm naming these retreats, these one-day retreats. So I had to build the page, build the product, and then design the advert for it. And then because social media is so different, you've got squares, you've got portrait, you've got landscape, the advert then needed to be shuffled around to all these different sizes for like Pinterest and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and all of that. And that takes time. It takes me a lot of time because that's not my area of expertise. I'm not great with graphic designs, but I am pleased with the advert that I created. Now, and then there needed to be an email that sits behind that product. So when people buy the retreat place, they need to get an email to give them confidence that it's happening and where it's happening and all of those details. And then I needed to build an email sequence to let people know all about it as well. So there's so much work that's gone into just that point. But, I am really happy to say that as today, there are 11 places sold. There's only 14 available. So we've only got 3 places left. So I am over the moon with that. And that happened sort of relatively early on this week, that I'd sold most of those places. And I thought that I could only have 12 available. But when I've been back to the hotel to have a good look at where the plug sockets are and the size of the tables, like I've just said, it means that I can actually have 14 people there and a desk for me as well, so where I can teach and show different techniques. So it's an early bird special of £99. The price will go up to £125. So if you did want to book on, be quick to get it at that price. So yes, that's been a massive part of my business week this week. And I do want to say thank you to everybody that's booked on. We are going to have such a fun day. And we've got our own little garden as well in this room. So we've got our own secluded little garden. The hotel is going to put some tables and chairs out there for us as it is on the 19th of August. So hopefully the weather will be good and it'll be nice and summery for us. So next is boat life. We moved the boats at the weekend. And we had to stop off at the local boatyard to get water because we needed to fill it with water. And I think we bought a bottle of gas as well while we were there. So we have to have bottled gas, of course, and our water tanks need filling up. We are very stingy with the water that we use. We're really, really careful, and we do make it last as long as we possibly can. So we at the weekend we were full of water and got 2 new gas bottles. So they will last us now about 6 months. Those gas bottles will. So that's all good. We had to go through a lock, and which is, it's not that easy with 2 boats. Sometimes I question the decision of having 2 boats, but now sat in it and you can see the view outside is quite lovely where we are. So we are in a lovely spot. We've got a nice bit of towpath where we can sit out, and I've been and bought a nice little new picnic table for us to use when the weather's a bit better. Yesterday it was completely blowing a hoolie, and that's a saying that my mum used to say, actually, blowing a hoolie, and the boat was rocking about all over the place. But today you can see it's nice and still out there, and it is a better weather day. So this evening we're going to sit out. Now, just a quick one. Have any of you used the Merlin Bird app? I've just discovered it this week, and I am addicted to it. So if you've used it, let me know. It identifies bird song, and you can keep a list of the birds that you've identified. So Mr. Perks and I are going to have a little competition on that. We always love a little challenge. So this evening, going to sit out with a glass of wine and a few nibbles and listen to the bird song. How times have changed for me, I've got to say, because I would never have done that in a previous life. Talking of birds, I forgot to post the video last week of the little ducks on the log. So here it is now. These are the first ducklings that I've seen this year. And I haven't seen them since. So I'm really pleased that I got this little video. So here you go. Have a little watch of this. Quilt of the week is the giraffe quilt, and this is made by Kim. Kim sent me these pictures in last week, and it's lovely, isn't it? So she's made the majority of the quilt with the Lewis and Irene bumbleberries, which is always a great favourite. It's a great favourite blender to use. She said she was given the fabric for the sky, so she doesn't know what that's called. This was made for her stepdaughter, and she was sort of hoping that she didn't like it or didn't want it, because Kim wanted to keep it herself. But it is going to a new home, so that is one lucky lady. Kim has done some crosshatch quilting on this, which is one of my favourites for my designs. She said she used a stitch length of 3, and she did it on her brother's sewing machine. I think it's the biggest quilt that she's quilted so far. Kim, it looks amazing. Well done. You win a free quilt pattern. So just drop me a quick note to let me know which one that you would like. And I think there's over 40 now on my website, or about 40. So yeah, let me know which one you'd like, and I'll get that sent over to you. Now, if you would like to win a quilt of the week next week, please send me a picture or two in of your quilt that you've made with my designs, and a little bit about the quilt, and I will feature these on TP's weekly roundup. Next up is the Q&A section. Tina has sent me a couple of questions in, actually. So let me just read these out to you. Tina has said, most of your designs are based on squares and half square triangles. Was this a conscious decision? How did this format become your go-to? And she also said, will you stick with this format, or do you think you will try new things? Or are you on the mindset of that it works, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it? Well, I've got some new things coming up, but let me start to answer this for you. So the half square triangles and the squares, they started when I designed the bumblebee pattern, and I did it in a graph book. Most of my designs until recently were designed in my graph book, so it was just easier to do that. And then once I got the format right for the patterns, it became easier then to design more patterns, so like the giraffe, and upscale things, make things smaller. You know, that got the Halloween table runner. There's all the new quilt blocks for block stock, and when I designed my patterns, I wanted them to be visual, so for the visual quilter, and not too many words. So that's why there's, you know, the diagrams in there on how to make the half square triangles, and the row by row format. And I love that. It's really simple, and it works for me. Now, going forward, yeah, I do have some new things up my sleeve. So, like I said, we've got some applique designs coming out, which are going to be great, and using different stitches as well. They're going to be a bit more wordy because there's lots more for me to share for those. So we're going to have some smaller projects. I've also got another set of designs that I'm working on that are not squares or half square triangles. I'm not going to share too much at this stage because I still need to get those formalised. Well, actually, I need to get them written. I've done the designing bit, which is the fun part. And now I need to get the patterns written in a way that is quite simple and easy to see, and easy for you guys to pick up and use as well. So yeah, half square triangles and squares, they're my easy go-to. But we need to move on. I need to learn more. I need to share more with you guys. So there is a lot more coming by the end of the year. So thank you, Tina, for your question. Really good question. If anybody would like to ask me a question, please drop me an email or send me a DM on any of the social media platforms that I'm on, and I will do my best to answer those for you. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all you guys, the ones that are coming on the retreats, the ones that press the like buttons. And please do press the like button on this if you like it, and unsubscribe to my channel. Yeah, it's been another busy week for quilting, boating and business, and I'll see you next week and let you know what I've been up to. Have a good weekend.